Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm a family doctor. Been practicing here in the US for over a decade. But before that, I spent years working with older adults in hospital settings. Today, I want to ask you a question that might hit a little close to home. Have you ever noticed this? Some older folks, they take a handful of pills every day, watch every single bite they eat, follow all the rules, and yet they pass away relatively early. Then you have others, they eat what they want. They don't obsess over every health scare, and somehow they just keep going. Last month, I went to two funerals. One was for an old family friend. This guy was the healthiest person I knew, woke up at 5 a.m. to do his Tai Chi, had a whole cabinet full of supplements last winter, sudden heart attack, 73 years old. The other funeral was for a retired hospital cook, spent his whole life in a steamy kitchen, stir frying over high heat. After he retired, he had a little whiskey almost every day. He just passed at 94, still walked with energy. Standing there, I kept asking myself, what actually decides how long we live? It's not money. It's not pills, and it's not just your genes. There's an international study tracked over 50,000 people. Here's what they found. If you are between 75 and 89 years old and you meet just three out of the following six things, your chance of living past 95 is more than three times higher than others your age. And these six things aren't fancy medical tests. They're small, everyday habits. As I go through each one, I want you to quietly check in with yourself, see how many you're already doing. And if this helps you, please hit that like button. Let me know you're with me. But first, let me explain why the ages of 75 to 89 are such a critical turning point. Once you understand that, you'll see why these six things really matter. In many families, and honestly, in many cultures, once an older adult passes 75, there's this quiet, unspoken pressure. It's not just fear of dying, it's the fear of being a burden, of needing help, of feeling like you're not useful anymore. Over the years, I've seen so many seniors hide their back pain because they don't want their kids to take time off work to take them to the doctor. I've seen people retire and basically lock themselves at home. No social life, no purpose. Just sitting on the couch, waiting for meals, waiting for sleep, waiting for the days to pass. That mindset, that feeling is more dangerous than almost any disease. There's a medical term for this, frailty syndrome. Many older adults don't suddenly collapse from one big illness. They start sliding. First, their legs get weak, walking feels hard, then appetite drops, food doesn't taste right, then sleep gets shallow, they wake up at 3 a.m. and can't fall back asleep, then mood changes, everything feels irritating. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff. You look steady, but one gust of wind, a bad cold, a fall in the bathroom, an argument with your spouse, and you tip over. That's what 75 to 89 looks like for many people. But, and this is a big but, here's the good news, aging is not a straight line down. You can hit the pause button. In some ways, you can even reverse certain declines. I've seen a 68-year-old who started leg exercises, and 3 months later, he climbed stairs without holding the railing. I've seen a 72-year-old learn a new musical instrument, and now his memory is better than mine. I once saw an 81-year-old woman who changed her breakfast from just white rice porridge to adding an egg and milk. 6 months later, her doctor looked at her protein levels and couldn't believe it. Age isn't the real issue. Willingness to change is. So these six criteria, think of them as your free, thorough health check. Let's see where your body stands. And whether you still have time to hit pause, these six things match six major systems in your body. Number one, walking. This tests your heart, your lungs, and your muscle strength. Number two, sleep. This tests your nervous system's ability to repair itself. Number three, eating and digestion, your gut, your metabolism. Number four, your mind, cognitive reserve. Number five, your mood, hormone balance. Number six, and this is the most important one, can you take care of yourself? All right, let's go through them one by one. Remember, if you meet just three, even barely, you're already ahead of most people your age. Let's start with walking. When was the last time you walked and felt your legs were strong? Your breathing was easy and you didn't need to hold on to a wall or stop to catch your breath. If you can't remember, pay close attention here. There's an old saying, if your legs stay young, you live long. That's not just folklore. Doctors now actually call walking speed the sixth vital sign. The first five are blood pressure, heart rate, breathing rate, temperature, and pain. Why walking? Because one simple step requires your brain to send a command, your nerves to transmit the signal, your heart to pump oxygen, your bones and muscles to work together, and your cerebellum to keep you balanced. It's a full body team effort. The World Health Organization has a standard for adults over 75. If you can walk at about zero point 0.8 meters per second, roughly the speed to cover 500 meters in 10 minutes, your life expectancy is significantly higher than average. Let me give you a real example. There's an 82-year-old in my neighborhood. 5 years ago, he had to hold the wall to walk upstairs. His kids were worried he'd never leave the house. Then his granddaughter bought him a step counter. He saw he was only walking about 800 steps a day, which is less than what many people walk after one meal. So he made a deal with himself. Every morning at 6 a.m., he walked slowly around the garden, 10 minutes the first day, 15 minutes the next, slowly increasing. At first, after 2 laps, he had to sit on a bench for a long time, but he didn't quit. He rested and kept going. 6 months later, he now walks 40 minutes every morning. His walking speed went from slow to normal. Last year, his doctor said his blood vessel flexibility is better than many 65-year-olds. He always says, as long as I can still walk, I don't feel old. So check yourself. 1, can you go up and down stairs without needing someone to hold you and without tightly gripping the railing? 2, when you walk, do you feel steady, not like you have to stare at your feet to avoid falling? 3, can you walk continuously for 20 to 30 minutes without your heart racing or feeling completely out of breath? If you said yes to all 3, congratulations, that's your strongest card for a long life. If your legs are a bit slow, now don't lose hope. Start today with 2 simple moves. First, heel raises, stand holding a table or counter for support, and slowly rise up on your toes. Do about 50, go slow. This builds calf strength. Second, wall sits, lean against a wall, slide down until your thighs are parallel to the floor, hold for 10 seconds, rest. Repeat 3 to 5 times a day. These 2 moves dramatically reduce your risk of falling. And remember, it is never too late to start. Even if you begin at 80 in 6 months, you will feel the difference. All right, that's number 1. Let's move to number 2. This one might be even more important than walking. Let me be honest with you. When I was younger, I stayed up late all the time. I thought I could handle it. I was young, right? But after decades of practice, I've seen a clear pattern. Older adults who sleep well don't just live longer, they live clearer. When was the last time you fell asleep within 20 minutes? Slept through the night, and woke up feeling actually refreshed? If it's been a while, listen closely. Here's what recent brain science shows. Your brain is like a machine. It creates waste during the day. If that waste isn't cleaned out, it builds up. Over time, it doesn't just affect memory, it can actually interfere with the nerves that control your heart and blood pressure. You know how some older adults have sudden blood pressure spikes that no one can explain? Often, the real cause is poor sleep. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine has data showing that for adults over 75, good sleep quality can cut the risk of dementia by nearly half. So I always say good sleepers don't just live longer, they live sharper. I had a patient, 78 years old, when he first came to see me. He looked gray, sunken eyes, slow responses. He said, "Doc, my biggest fear now is bedtime. I lie there and can't fall asleep. Then I wake up at 3 a.m. and stare at the ceiling until dawn. That feeling is worse than death." I knew right away this wasn't just a sleep problem. His whole body was declining. I told him, "Listen, pills will only treat the symptoms. Let's change the root cause." I gave him 3 simple rules. Rule 1, every day between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., go outside and get sunlight for 30 minutes. He said, "My legs are bad. I can't walk far." I said, "You don't need to. Just sit outside in the sun in a chair. Sunlight helps your brain make melatonin for sleep." Rule 2, naps no longer than 20 minutes. Set an alarm. Do not sleep for 1 or 2 hours in the afternoon. Because if you do, you will never sleep at night. Rule 3, keep your bedroom slightly cool, around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. A cooler room helps you fall into deep sleep. 3 months later, that patient was sleeping much better. He looked alive again. Even his blood pressure stabilized. So how do you know if you're sleeping well? 1, do you fall asleep within 20 minutes? 2, do you wake up no more than once or twice during the night? And can you fall back asleep without lying there for hours? 3, do you wake up feeling reasonably clear-headed, not foggy, not like you haven't slept at all? If yes to all 3, your nervous system is still doing a great job. Sleep well, live long, live sharp. Don't underestimate those 7 or 8 hours. That's your body's prime repair time. Okay, number 3 is even more down to earth. It's about eating and digestion. First, let me correct a big myth I hear all the time. Many older adults think, "I'm older, my metabolism is slow, I should eat less, just porridge and vegetables, keep it light." I'm telling you that is completely wrong. You might not believe me, but I have seen so many seniors eat so little protein that they lose muscle mass, and then their whole body starts to fall apart. The American Society for Nutrition has data showing that for adults over 75, the risk of malnutrition is actually higher than the risk of overeating. In other words, your real problem right now is probably not eating too much, it's eating too little. Why is eating so important? Your gut is often called the second brain. It doesn't just absorb nutrients. About 70% of your immune cells live in your gut. If your digestion works well, your immune system is strong. A major study published in a leading medical journal found that if older adults don't get enough protein, or if they have chronic constipation that causes toxins to be reabsorbed, their risk of cancer and cardiovascular disease goes up significantly. So when I say being able to eat is a blessing, that's not just a nice saying, that's science. Let me give you an example. I have an 86-year-old patient. Every morning, without fail, he goes to a local diner for breakfast. He loves eggs, sausage, and always orders a bowl of oatmeal with milk and nuts. His family sometimes says, "Dad, eat less meat. Your cholesterol is high," but his doctor actually supports him. The doctor says if he can still digest protein, his stomach enzymes are working. That's how he keeps his muscle. That patient still walks fast, rarely catches a cold. His doctor says it's because his nutrition is solid. So check your digestion. 1, do you feel hungry at mealtimes? Does food actually look and smell good to you too? Are you not overly picky? Can you eat meat, vegetables, and chew slightly firm foods without a problem? 3, and this is key, do you have regular bowel movements without needing laxatives or enemas, either every day or every other day? If you said yes to all 3, your internal organs are at least 10 years younger than your age. If your appetite has gone down, here's what I recommend. First, eat small, frequent meals. If you can't eat much at once, eat 4 or 5 times a day. Second, chew well. Every single bite, chew more. It helps your stomach and increases blood flow to your brain, which helps prevent dementia. Third, get enough protein. 1 egg a day, a small piece of meat, a glass of milk. Don't be afraid of meat. You need the nutrition. If you live in a colder area, try a bowl of oatmeal with a poached egg on the side. If you're in a warmer area, a breakfast with eggs and a warm bowl of soup works great. Being able to eat really is a blessing. Don't let wrong ideas starve your body. Okay, those first 3 are physical. The next 3 are about your mind and your spirit, just as important. Number 4, do you still have something you want to do? I've seen 2 types of older adults. One type retires, and then their life becomes waiting for meals, waiting for sleep, waiting for a phone call from the kids. They sit on the couch all day, their spirit shrinks fast. The other type stays busy. They learn to paint at 70, grow orchids at 80. Even study new recipes at 90. These are the ones who live long. What's the difference? Having a sense of purpose. Psychologists call this goal orientation. There's a Japanese word, ikigai, which means your reason for getting up in the morning. A U.S. study followed over 7,000 older adults and found that those with a strong sense of purpose had nearly half the risk of dementia. Why? Because when you're learning something new or focusing on a hobby, your brain forms new connections between neurons. That's like a workout for your brain. It builds what we call cognitive reserve. I always say you don't get old because you stop learning. You stop learning and then you get old. I know a 79-year-old who started learning the banjo at age 68. He told me every morning I wake up thinking about making that song a little smoother. That gives me energy for the whole day. Now, he doesn't just play for himself, he teaches others in his retirement community. His memory is so good he can look at a music sheet once and remember it. And there's a grandmother in my neighborhood who loves studying different ways to bake bread. Even though her kids don't want her in the kitchen too much, she watches cooking videos on her tablet, takes notes and experiments. She says, "I want to learn as long as I live. If I stop, I'll really get forgetful." So check yourself. 1, do you have a long-term hobby, gardening, cards, calligraphy, following a TV series, anything you truly enjoy? 2, are you willing to learn something new, like using a smartphone to send a text message with a photo, trying a new recipe, or using an app to video call your grandkids? Do you enjoy chatting with friends instead of isolating yourself at home? If you have no interest in anything right now, here's my advice. Start with one tiny thing today. It doesn't have to be big. Water a plant every morning and watch for new leaves. Keep a simple notebook and write down how much you spent at the grocery store today. Write 2 sentences about your mood. Go to a park and watch people play chess. Walk to a coffee shop and just say hello to the barista. Even something that's small done every day gives you a reason to get up in the morning. Remember, living means giving yourself something to do. Don't let yourself sit idle, because when you stop doing, you start aging fast. All right, number 5 is about your mood and your temperament. Let me be honest with you again. When I was younger, I had a temper too. I'd get angry and hold on to things, but after all these years, I've noticed one pattern, truly long-lived. Older adults are rarely hot-tempered or petty. Most of them have kind faces, speak slowly, and let things go. You might think they're just lucky and have no problems, but that's not true. Many long-lived seniors went through real hardship, financial struggles, health scares, loss of loved ones. They've suffered more than you or I can probably imagine, but they share one skill: they learn to let go. This isn't just philosophy. There's real science behind it. When you're angry, anxious, or deeply sad, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. In younger people, cortisol breaks down pretty quickly, but in older adults, high cortisol levels can constrict blood vessels, spike blood pressure, mess up blood sugar, and even suppress your immune system. Simply put, every outburst of rage is like a small blow to your blood vessels. I have seen too many seniors have a stroke or a heart attack right after a big argument. Let me give you a real example from my community. Two older ladies in my building, both around 83. One of them worries about everything: her son's work stress, she stresses; her grandkids' test scores, she panics; the bank interest rate drops, she loses sleep; she has always frowning result, 2 heart stents and a big bag of blood pressure pills. The other one, we call her Happy Grandma. She listens to her family's worries, but she doesn't try to control everything every day. She goes to the local community center to dance. She always says if the sky falls, tall people will hold it up. Worrying won't help. I'd rather be happy. Shez, now 86. Her eyesight is still good, and she always has a smile. What's the difference? Mindset. So check your mood. 1, when something annoying happens, your child doesn't answer the phone, you lose your keys. The store is out of what you wanted. Can you let it go pretty quickly without ruminating on it for hours? 2, do you feel less anxious about things like aging or health, not constantly fearing every ache and pain? 3, do you smile often? This one matters more than you think. Smiling seniors really do live longer. If you felt more irritable lately, here's a simple tool: the deep breathing pause. When you feel anger rising, stop. Take a deep breath in, slowly count 1, 2, 3, 4, then breathe out, slowly counting 1, 2, 3, 4, then breathe out, slowly counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat 3 times. Deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, and calms your body down. And remember this sentence: at this age, making yourself happy is one of the biggest contributions you can make to your family. Stable mood means stable blood pressure. Stable blood pressure means a long life. Don't punish your body for something that isn't worth it. All right, final one. Number 6, this is the most critical of all. If the previous 5 things are bonuses, this one is the baseline. If you are over 80 and can still dress yourself, shower, tidy your room, and even go to the grocery store and cook a simple meal, please be proud of yourself. That is truly remarkable. In geriatric medicine, we call this activities of daily living, or ADL for short. And honestly, this predicts your quality of life for the next 5 to 10 years better than any lab test. Why is this so important? When you can do your own basic chores, it means your hand-eye coordination is good, your muscle strength is adequate, your brain can plan and sequence tasks, and your balance works. Once an older adult loses the ability to care for themselves and becomes fully dependent on others, whether that's family or paid help, health often declines rapidly within 2 years. Now here's something I see often. Many adult children, out of pure love, won't let their parents do anything. Mom, sit down, let me pour the water. Dad, don't sweep. I'll do it. But let me tell you, as long as it's safe, letting older adults do things themselves is the greatest form of love. Because that sense of control, feeling useful, not a burden, that is powerful medicine. I once met an 87-year-old patient. She insisted on washing her own dishes, sweeping her own floor, and making her own breakfast. Yes, she was slow, but she did it carefully. Her daughter said, "Mom, let me put the dishes in the dishwasher." And she said, "No, if I can still wash them myself, that means I'm still okay." Hear that confidence? That's a life with dignity. Her doctor said that at this rate, she'll easily live past 100. So check yourself. Can you do these things? 1, dress yourself, including buttons and shoes. 2, shower by yourself, maybe slower than before, but independently. 3, make a simple meal like heating up leftovers, making a sandwich, or cooking a bowl of noodles. 4, tidy your room at a basic level. If you can do these, your overall ability is already above most people your age. My advice, as long as you can safely do it, don't hand over these rights. Doing things yourself, even if slower, even if not perfect, is living proof that your life force is strong. But a word of caution: know your limits. If something is dangerous, like climbing on a stool to reach a high shelf, don't be a hero. For safety, install grab bars in the shower, keep a small step stool in the kitchen, put a nightlight by your bed so you don't trip at night. Staying independent isn't about showing off. It's about living with dignity and living longer. When you stop moving your hands and legs over time, you really will lose that ability. All right? Friends, let's summarize the 6 signs of a long, healthy life. See how many you have. 1, you can walk well. Your pace isn't too slow, your legs feel strong, and you can walk 20 to 30 minutes without being out of breath. 2, you sleep soundly, you fall asleep within 20 minutes, wake up no more than once or twice, and feel clear-headed in the morning. 3, you eat well, you feel hungry, you're not overly picky, and you have regular bowel movements without needing laxatives. 4, you have interests, you have something you look forward to, a reason to get up, and you're willing to learn new things. 5, your mood is stable, you don't stay angry, you let things go, and you smile often. 6, you can take care of yourself, you handle your own basic daily activities, and keep a sense of control over your life. Now be honest with yourself. How many did you count? If you have 3 or more, even if you're already 85, I can tell you your foundation is strong. Living past 95 is very likely. If you have 5 or all 6, you are what some researchers call a super ager. You are priceless to your family. Keep doing what you're doing. That's a blessing that many people would envy. If you have 2 to 3, that's solid. You have plenty of room to improve. Start today, walk a few more steps, strengthen your legs, let go of a little anger, nurture your heart, find a little joy. Exercise your mind. If you only have 1 or even none, don't be discouraged. This just shows you where your body needs some care. Your body has an amazing ability to repair itself. As long as you're willing to start, it is never too late. Now, take a breath with me. Let me leave you with the deepest lesson from all my years in practice. True longevity is not just about living a long time, it's about living with quality, dignity, and joy. I have seen too many people live past 90 but spend their last 10 years in bed, confused, unable to recognize their own family. That is not the long life any of us want. We want to live to 90 and still walk to the park, chat with old friends, enjoy a good meal, and laugh. That's real blessing. That's what your children and grandchildren truly want to see. So starting today, don't just ask how long you will live, ask how well you will live. These 6 signs are your guide. I hope 10 years from now you're sitting on a park bench in the sun, holding your partner's hand, taking a slow walk, or playing cards with an old friend. Remember, the length of your life matters, but the width and the warmth matter just as much. Take good care of yourself. Not just to live long, but to live well. If this video helped you or made you feel more confident about your health, please do 2 things for me. First, give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know you're listening and it helps more people find this information. Second, share this with your partner, your friends, or your adult children. They need to know this too. And if you have questions or if you have your own healthy aging tips, drop a comment below. Tell me how many of the 6 you're already doing. I read every comment and I'll answer as many as I can. Disclaimer, this content is for educational purposes only. Always consult your own doctor before making any changes to your health routine. If you're dealing with any health concerns, please schedule a visit with your primary care doctor. I'm here to help you understand the science, not to replace professional medical advice. Thank you for being here. I truly wish every single one of you watching a long, happy, dignified, and valuable life. Remember, living isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.